Love and a pair of scissors, or two. If you know, you know, because scissor love is real, especially if you're a sewist. Let's dive into why these little guys, although small, are incredibly mighty and cute. I love them. If you're a sewist, you know just how important scissors are. They're essential. And if you're not a sewist, you might have been scolded. Never touch these scissors. Scissor love is real. These little tiny scissors caught my eye initially when I had been visiting my local sewing machine repair shop. And I saw them hanging on the wall and I was like, what are these? They're so tiny and they're so cute and they're like really pointy. I mean, look at them. They're rad. Just a few days later, the sewing machine repair shop closed because the owner retired, which, you know, I'm very happy for him, but I was very sad for me, especially since I was kind of curious about these little guys, but I didn't know where to get them. So I did a little sleuthing online. I think I Googled something like little tiny green scissors and I found them. And of course I had to order them. And as soon as they arrived on my doorstep, it was love at first snip. So bad. These little guys are the Karen K. Buckley Perfect Scissors. They're aptly named. I mean, that's kind of a bold statement to make, I guess, if you're naming a product. These truly are perfect in my opinion. First off, they are the perfect size. I don't know if that can be a thing, but in my book, it's a thing. You know, I can fit kind of 2 fingers and my thumb. They're also ambidextrous, so if you're a lefty, you can use them. But they are so perfect. They're so small and they're lightweight and they're comfortable and they're really surprisingly tough little guys too. I've used them on several layers of flannel and they've done just fine going right through it. And they're just cute too. That probably always helps. They're also really easy to see amongst all of your project materials next to your machines. Check this out. They're squishy. And because they're squishy, they're really comfortable to use. They don't, you know, they don't like bind against your hand while you're trying to snip. I'm a big fan of the squish. I also love to keep these right next to multiple sewing machines. That's why I have 2. They're fantastic for cutting your threads right as you're done with whatever seam you've just sewed. Snip all those threads as you're sewing so that way you don't have a ton of thread tails to manage at the end of your project, especially when you just want to wear it. I like these compared to other kinds of snips, mostly because they're in scissor form and I feel like they're a little bit more double duty that way. They're more useful. They also match my little bird. You know, that's always a bonus when you match scissors to your little bird. This is Bobbin, by the way. My little guy decided he wanted to have a cameo. They're also powerful and super sharp and grippy too. They have what's called a micro serrated edge on the blade, and that edge allows them to grip fabric a little better while you're cutting so it doesn't slip around as much, which is nice when you're making little tiny notches and stuff. The packaging also says that the micro serrated edge can lessen fraying after you've cut your fabric too. I don't know if I've noticed that, but if it does add that as a little benefit, then I'm totally cool with that. Speaking of notches, they are so nice when you're working on little tiny details or having to cut around tiny curves. They have such a sharp little point that it's really easy to see how close to the stitching line that you're getting, and that's really key because you don't never want to cut through your stitching line. The other cool thing about these that I absolutely love them for is cutting open buttonholes. The tip is so sharp that you can just kind of poke it right into the center of the buttonhole and then just kind of very gently snip to one end and turn it and snip to the other end, and it makes it so easy. You don't need a little buttonhole knife or a buttonhole chisel, or you don't have to worry about your seam ripper and pushing it right through the edge of the buttonhole and, you know, kind of having your heart slowly break. So I love these for opening buttonholes. They're great for that. As you may have guessed, I feel like these were a fantastic purchase. I think our love affair is going to continue for a while. They're a smartly made and designed product, and yeah, it's a great purchase. They're a little bit expensive, but in my opinion, totally worth it to have a pair of scissors that you really enjoy using, especially when you use scissors so much while you sew. If you'd like to experience a pair of these for yourself, then go ahead and check out my link in the description. The other cool thing about this brand is that they have several other sizes with the same kind of serrated edge and nice little pointy tips and the soft handles, so you can get scissors that are actually quite a bit larger than this. There are a couple different sizes up, and I'll throw those in the description as well. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed my love for my scissors, and hopefully this helped you make a decision if you're on a scissor quest as well. Stick around, I hope you'll watch my next video and perhaps subscribe to this channel and help it grow. Happy sewing! Oh my God, was it focused on you, Bobbin? Things Bobbin learned today. All about microphones and cameras and lights and scissors.